Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Currie tōko ingoa. I'm a marine scientist with NIWA, based in Dunedin in Aotearoa, New Zealand. To be more precise, I'm a marine carbonate chemist, and I'm particularly interested in the role of the ocean in the carbon cycle. As part of my research, I study how the ocean is taking up carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and the consequence of this for marine organisms. I'm part of a multidisciplinary team working on ocean acidification in New Zealand, contributing the chemistry perspective. I'm responsible for the Munida Time Series, a long-running transect of ocean carbon measurements off the coast of New Zealand, which is helping us to understand ocean acidification in New Zealand waters. We've also set up a coastal ocean acidification observing network, working with sampling partners from diverse stakeholder communities. A bit of background. Human activities over the last 250 years, such as fossil fuel burning and land use changes, have added carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, leading to climate change and global warming. However, only about half of the anthropogenic carbon dioxide emitted to the atmosphere stays in the atmosphere. About a quarter is taken up by the terrestrial biosphere, the land, and the other quarter is taken up by the ocean. One of the consequences of this large carbon uptake by the oceans is a phenomena termed ocean acidification. So I need to get a little technical here. Carbon dioxide absorbed by the oceans reacts with the water in a series of chemical reactions which results in an increase in the hydrogen ion concentration and a decrease in the carbonate ion concentration in the seawater, as well as other changes. This increased hydrogen ion concentration causes an increase in seawater acidity, measured as a decrease in pH. So what does this mean in practice? These changes in the ocean chemistry affect marine organisms and environments, and particularly impact animals which make calcium carbonate shells. The higher the acidity of the seawater, the lower the pH, the harder it is for shellfish, such as oysters and mussels, to build their shells, and the more likely it is that the coral reefs will dissolve in the acidic waters. So what's my work? And how does a marine chemist in New Zealand contribute to the knowledge on ocean acidification? In 1998, I started carefully measuring the carbon chemistry in the waters off Dunedin as part of a program called the Munida Time Series. I've been going out on the research boat every 2 months since then, making the same careful measurements in that same location. These careful and accurate observations over 23 years have shown that the acidity of the water varies naturally due to factors such as changing water temperature, photosynthesis by marine plants, and ocean currents. These factors naturally vary from day to day, from summer to winter, from year to year, and from place to place. So the natural ocean carbon chemistry varies on different timescales. But over the 23 years, we have measured a steady decrease in the pH of the water. I have seen the waters near New Zealand become more acidic. Meticulous measurements of these chemical changes have also been made at other open ocean sites since the 1980s, including in the equatorial Pacific Ocean near Hawaii, in the Atlantic Ocean near Bermuda, in the Erminger Sea near Iceland, as well as our work in the southwest Pacific Ocean near New Zealand. As well as the natural variability at each of these diverse open ocean sites, Hawaii, Bermuda, Iceland, New Zealand, and other places, they all show a slow and steady increase in acidity due to the uptake of human-produced carbon dioxide. The average surface ocean acidity has already increased by 30% since the Industrial Revolution, and if humans continue to emit carbon dioxide at the same rate as we do now, then the average surface ocean acidity will increase by as much as 150% by the end of this century, now only 80 years ago, and within the lifetime of many of you. The changing carbon chemistry in the ocean affects many organisms and marine ecosystems. A decrease in the carbonate ion concentration particularly impacts animals which make calcium carbonate shells, and juvenile animals are particularly vulnerable. The extra energy needed to make the shell in the adverse conditions means that the shellfish have less energy for other things, such as feeding, for breeding, and for escaping from predators. In extreme situations, the shell does not form properly or can begin to dissolve once the shell is made. On the whole, marine plant environments, such as mangroves, kelp beds, and seagrass meadows, will benefit from increasing carbon in the waters, and this may even be used as a tool to help remediate the worst impacts of ocean acidification coastally, because these plants can absorb carbon from the water column and so buffer the ocean acidification, improving conditions for organisms living nearby. However, some seaweed, such as coralline algae and open ocean phytoplankton called coccolithophores, also have carbonate structures which will be negatively impacted. So, as the ocean waters become more acidic, there are winners and losers. These species don't live in isolation, they live together in communities. And the structure and composition of these marine communities and ecosystems will change. Biodiversity, food quality and quantity, and predator-prey relationships will be affected. And these changes will flow through the marine food chain, having far-reaching consequences. As well as being dependent on the ocean for food, economic, cultural and recreational activities, I believe we all have a responsibility to look after the health of our coastal and marine environments to pass to future generations. There's a Māori whakatauki, toi tū te marae a tāne, toi tū te marae a Tangaroa, toi tū te iwi. If the land is well and the sea is well, the people will thrive.